Hi, Flosstube. Welcome to another week. We're close to Mania. I'm so excited. If you'd like to see my Maynia plans, that was, I want to say 2 videos ago, maybe. Not very many back. You can see those. My plans for 2019. I'll start on May 1st, and I'll show you all that video shows you all the projects I'm going to do. And if you'd like to see, I wasn't making videos last year, the very first time I did Mania, M-A-Y-N-I-A. So I did a video a couple of months ago showing you what I started for Mania last year, and I finished all but 3 of them now. So you can go back and watch that if you'd like as well. All right, WIPs. Let's jump right into WIPs, right? I didn't touch everything, all my normal weekly WIPs this week, because I was kind of on a mission to get some things finished before Mania started. I wanted to, so that I could focus on Mania in May. And if you're not familiar with Mania, I explain it better in my other video, a couple back. It's titled Mania 2019. You can find it. And I always talk about how I'm doing the Blimey Cat method, which is Brittany at Ingleside Imaginarium. She's the one who started the Blimey Cat method. And that Mania video, I've said this a million times. I'm not going to explain it again. So I didn't say it on my Mania video 2019, my plans for 2019. But I do the Blimey Cat method. And that was started by Brittany at Ingleside Imaginarium. And she recently found my floss tubes and commented on that video. And I thought, oh, the one time I don't mention the Blimey Cat method, Blimey Cat is actually watching. It made me laugh. So thank you, Brittany. I love your videos. You were one of the main reasons I decided to do Mania last year, because I loved I found you like a year ago and went back and binge watched all your Mania videos, because I loved seeing the progression each year. All right, this is Petite House, and I did work on this a little bit this week. This has an end of June deadline for another stitch along I'm participating in. So I will work on it during the month of May. Probably this and a stocking I'll probably do. The first hour that I sit down to stitch, I'll probably do this one like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The first hour as I sit down to stitch. And then the stocking I'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because those both have June deadlines, so I need to stay up with those. So this one is Petite House by Sodastitch. There it is. I ordered mine on Amazon. They are one of the resellers for Sodastitch. Sorry, I'm trying to make you sick now today. Here is where it is so far. I worked on that window on the top of the roof a little bit last week during my lunch half hour. It is on Silkweaver Rainbow 40 count linen. It has this piece of linen has a lot of this yellowy green in it. And I chose there was a section on the piece that didn't have as much of that. So I chose that to put this piece on because I thought it would look better. I was going to make a video Saturday, but we were helping my son move from St. George to here. That's about 4 hours away, so I didn't have time. I wasn't home on Saturday, so sorry, you're getting this video on Monday. I will try and make one this Saturday, showing you all my Mania starts for that week, and then I'll continue hopefully every Saturday and show you my Mania starts for that week. I have 19 Mania starts. So it'll be the May 1st through the 19th, and then on the 20th I'll start back over at number 1 again and do them all again so they each get another day, which will put me into June somewhere. That's plans. Sorry, that should have been coming at the end of the video, but I'm telling you now, that's my plans. I'm using the called for DMC, and I'm using 1 strand of floss over 1 fabric thread on this one. And it's in my So Much to Love bag that has the birds and the red on it. Made by this company on Etsy, So Much to Love. She also has a website, I believe. I get the More to Love size. Love her bags because my 11 by 11 Q-snaps will fit in the bag with the pattern and everything. Fits in there very nicely, and I don't have to take it off the Q-snaps. All right, I'm doing 2 monthly stitch-alongs, mystery monthly stitch-alongs. This one is by Tiny Modernist called Words to Live By. And I worked really hard last week and finally got it all caught up because I wanted to have it all caught up before Mania started. So the middle section was January's piece that I started this late, towards the end of January, probably the very end of January. Wow, I can't get you a better picture of that, sorry. Those colors are not that washed out. There we go. And I did it a little bit at a time as I was getting worked on the other months, and I did finally get it caught up. And then there's February, March's, and April's across the top there. So April's was success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. So this is the called for DMC colors on 32 count black linen. And I have a hard time sewing on black, but if I use my magnifying lamp plus my readers, that really good light and that magnifier plus the magnification of my readers, I can see it really well. 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. Oh, and that was also a So Much to Love bag. This one, with the typewriters. So cute. This is my other mystery stitch along, Seize the Day by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which is also in a So Much to Love bag. That looks like this. And I also, this comes out on the 25th every month. The next section shows up in my email. It's a surprise. I don't know what it's going to look like till we get it. That one and Words to Live By are both mystery stitch alongs, so you don't know what it's going to look like the next section until you get it. But I got this on the 25th and worked really hard this last week to get it caught up before Mania starts. Oh, this is probably gonna, well, maybe not. So this month's section was this crab, this ice cream cone, this seashell, these hot dogs and maybe chicken on the grill, and this popsicle. That was making me, while I was stitching that, I wanted to eat one of those rainbow colored popsicles. It was sounding good. It's probably dehydrated, huh? But that's where this is so far. Seize the Day by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. She's located in the UK. You can still join either one of these mystery stitch alongs. Caterpillar Cross Stitch has its own website. You can join there and get all of the sections that have come out so far, and then keep going with the sections that will come out once a month in your email. Tiny Modernist, I found on Etsy. That's how I signed up for that one. And you can still sign. She might have a website as well. I'm not sure, but maybe. And then I had a new start on my birthday yesterday, and I bought this bag from So Much to Love last month for my birthday. It's glamping fabric. Look at those cute, cute campers. Makes me want to go this kind of camping. Such a cute bag. This is one of my Mania starts. I just started it 2 days early for my birthday. So this will be still be one of my Mania starts. It will just be one of another WIP. I do 5 WIPs this year, and I always do 5 WIPs. Well, I started that last year for Mania, and this year, since it's 2019, I'll have 14 new starts and 5 WIPs to add up to 19. And I might do this one for May 1st. I haven't decided. No, maybe I'll wait and do this one very last on May 19th, since I already worked on it I'll work on it, started it yesterday, I'll work on it tomorrow, and I'll work on it the next day. And then maybe I'll save it till the very end. So then I'll have several weeks where I didn't work on it, and then I can work on it again. It is Utopie This is the designer, Camille Camps. You can find it on the Jardin Prive website, Jardin Priva, which is a French website. Or I ordered mine from my LNS because they order, and they just ordered it with their other Jardin Prive patterns that I don't know if they actually order from France or where they order from, but they were able to order it for me. I've had some viewers also tell me that they found it on ABC Stitch. And, oh, now I can't remember the other website where someone said they found it. Amazon. Someone said they found it on Amazon, if you're interested. But it is a tree, and there are little houses in the tree. And this is where, how much I got done yesterday. And then I did a little bit. I came home for my lunch half hour today and did a little bit more. So I'm excited about that one. I don't have an order for my Mania pieces. Some are bigger, some are smaller. So I just kind of, last year I just kind of, the night before thought, oh, how much time am I going to have to stitch tomorrow? Am I going to have to take it with me somewhere? Because the only time I'm going to have to stitch is at work or something because something's going on crazy at night. So I just kind of chose the night before what felt good for the next day. And the bigger pieces I'll probably save for a day when I have lots of time to stitch to start them, or the more complicated pieces. And then the WIPs, I try and intersperse them every few days because new starts are way more fun. So I don't want to leave all the WIPs for the end because I was having so much fun starting all the new starts. So I usually make myself do one of the WIPs every 3 or 4 days to get those in there. And the 3 that I have left from last year, I will do on the day that I started them last year. That's the Blimey Cat method. From Brittany. Oh, that was on Seize the Day is on 36 count. Maritime white linen. 2 strands of the called for DMC over 2 fabric threads. And this one, Utopie, is on 40 count Silkweaver Autumn Field is the color, made by Silkweaver. 40 count linen, using the called for DMC, 1 strand of floss over 2 fabric threads. Oh, one more. One more WIP. Here is my Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions. I bought it as a PDF download from her website. This is where it is so far. I was doing a challenge with my sister-in-law this month to do at least 30 minutes on it every day. I have missed several days. Didn't do well at all last week. I only worked on it 2 or 3 days last week. But I have finished this medium green specialty stitch band, and I have started the next cross stitch only band, which will be half medium green and half light green. And then there will be another specialty stitch band that will be half light green and half blue. And when I hit that blue color, I will be at the corner down here, and then the bands will start getting smaller. So I'm excited. This is one of my Mania pieces left. It was a WIP last year for Mania, and I didn't finish it, so it will continue to be one of my 5 WIPs for this year. So I will not work on it every day for May anymore. It won't be a challenge piece anymore, but it will get 2 days in May because it is part of the Maynia Plans. And I had a finish. That's what I was getting so excited about and jumped the gun. If you've been watching any of my videos, you knew that this was close. Here is Shores of Hockran Hollow, all finished. By Carriage House Samplings on 40 count Heritage linen. 1 strand of NPI silk over 2 fabric threads. I did substitute one color. This watercolor, I believe, is NPI 522, which is what the pattern calls for. But this is not the called for fabric. The called for fabric on that pattern is a really coppery, yellowy, dark fabric that these colors just pop on. It's gorgeous. My daughter Catherine did it on that, and we showed the very first time I did a video with my daughter Catherine, boss daughter. If you go back and watch that video, I think it's number 2 or 3, number 2. She shows her, and she did it on the called for fabric, and we show both of ours next to each other. Hers was finished then, mine was not. But because of that, I think this watercolor just looked really gray and dingy to me on this fabric. It didn't look like water to me. So I did the first 4 blocks with that color. Then when I got down here to this block, I decided I wanted to try a different watercolor. So you can't barely see it, but in this block I changed to this brighter blue, which is Classic Colorworks Bahama Breeze. And I used that blue whenever there was water for all the rest of the blocks until I got to the very last one, and I went back to that original color on this one down there at the bottom, just to kind of tie it all back in together so it would all look good together. So it wouldn't be so obvious that the top of the project was a different watercolor than the bottom. Kind of looked like it all went together. I loved this piece. I have been working on, this is the 4th. Oh, I'll show you the last block that I did. Was this one right here. Love that little row of fishies. And I love that octopus. He's so cute. And I love the whale. I started this 2 or 3 years ago. It's, like I said, it's my 4th Hawk Run Hollow piece. I've been working on a Hawk Run Hollow piece probably for the last 15 years. I've had one as a WIP constantly, only one at a time. When I finished one, I'd start another one. So and I almost always did the same thing where that was the first hour. It has lots of blocks where it's just a solid color fill in. And it was kind of mindless stitching because it's just full cross. Not a lot of color changes. So I would, that first hour when I sat down to stitch, I would just do a half an hour or hour on the current Hawk Run Hollow piece because that kept it moving along. And I almost always was doing it as, I try and get a block done every 2 months. About 6 months ago, I realized I wanted to finish this before Mania, so I ramped it up to a block per month, which was stretching me. That was almost an hour on it every day to get that done, to get 1 block done per month. Those blocks are 92, 93, 92 stitches by 92 stitches, so they're mini projects all by themselves, 1 block at a time. So it's going to be really weird not to have, I don't have another Hawk Run Hollow piece calling to me right now. I have the Christmas one in my stash, but it's not calling my name. So I'll wait a while before I do that. So it's going to be very odd to not have a Hawk Run Hollow piece in process. It's going to be very strange. Okay, so in honor of this finish, we just have to look at it one more time, sorry. I thought I'd show you the other 3 Hawk Run Hollow pieces that I have finished. It will be a Hawk Run Hollow celebration. How about that? This was the very first one I did. It's houses at Hawk Run Hollow. I did it calls for a Vera Soie silk. And the Vera Soie silk at the time was a little more expensive. This was like 15 years ago than NPI silk. So I was poor at the time and chose to do NPI silk. And I started with this block right here, top left. And I only could afford the colors that it called for in this block to start it. And then as I finished each block every few months, it would take me 2 or 3 months to do a block, I would buy the colors, any extra colors that were needed that I didn't already have for the next block. And that's how I did almost this whole thing. When I got to this block here and those blue hills underneath, the NPI blue color conversion, because the pattern had the NPI conversion right on it. I didn't do the conversion myself. The model was stitched in a Vera Soie, but there was an NPI conversion on the pattern. When I got to these, I didn't like the blue shading on the NPI conversion. So I went and bought the Avera Soie blue silks to do this shading. And then after that block, I used, whenever it called for any one of those blues, I used the Avera Soie because I already had them. There were several places in this where I was not happy with how the colors turned out. The NPI conversion, I thought certain colors next to each other just didn't look good. I changed sometimes, but most of the time I just left it in. Like this house here, I don't think I ever would have chosen those colors to go together. I probably would have changed. I think maybe the Avera Soie looked different than that. I don't know. Maybe they did. Who knows? But after I did this one, I thought, okay, if I'm going to do a big piece like that again, I'm going to use the call for colors because I want it to look like the model, and I like the way the model looks. So what did I do next? The Swan Sampler Guild that I belonged to at the time asked me to lead a stitch along, and everyone was interested in doing autumn at Hawk-Run Hollow. So I said, sure, I'll do that. But I didn't have the money to buy the silks for it. So what did I do? After I just said I'd never do that again, I used the DMC conversion on this one. Oh gosh, here is autumn at Hawk-Run Hollow. This is on even weave as well. That first one, Houses is on, it was a 40 count linen. It's a very light cream color. I don't know what color it was. I didn't keep track back then. And this is on a really light tannish cream even weave. I don't think I know the color of this one either, unless there's a bone color. I'm not sure. But it's even weave. It's 25 count even weave, 1/1. So same as most people do Hades on 1/1 on 25 count even weave. And there were several times when I did not like the DMC conversion and I changed the color, which I hate doing that. I hate stitching for an hour and just going, oh, I don't like that, and having to rip it all out and then change the color. I hate that. So I try and avoid that as much as possible. And then during one of the things we did for the stitch along was to try and figure out a specialty stitch that you could do on each block, just to change it up and make it more fun. This house, I did a diagonal satin stitch for each brick, just to make that a little different. These wheat stalks on this one is a chain stitch for the stalks coming up. On almost all the roofs after this one, I did a diagonal satin stitch just because it made the roof go faster. All that solid black was just not very fun. I think on these apples I used 2 strands of thread instead of 1. The rest of it's 1 strand to make them a little thicker and so they'd stick up a little bit. These apples I did as smeared acrosses. This owl, I think I did this spider as a padded. I stitched one way first and then I stitched the other way over the top of it to make it padded and kind of stick out. Kind of like a satin stitch going 2 different directions. On this covered bridge, I did vertical strips of satin stitch to make it look like the boards on a, you know what I mean. Gosh, I can't see a specialty stitch on this one, so I don't know what I did on that one. Maybe I was getting tired by now and I was like, I can't think of one. I just want this project to be done. Because I think we were doing a block a month because we wanted to finish it in a year. The stitch along only goes for a year. This graveyard, all this ground, the grass ground behind that needed to be filled in, I did 2 strands and I just did a straight stitch across in rows because I was thinking that would go faster so I wouldn't have to fill in all that ground. And I can't see anything on the last 2. Like I said, I think I got tired by the time I got to the bottom. But that was fun. I love working on even weave. It is so easy to stitch on. And then the last one I did, Villages of Hawk-Run Hollow, I actually used the called for threads, which happened to be for this one NPI silks. So it looked exactly like the model and I didn't have to change anything. I've seen some people on this one personalize the blocks, like put their grandparents' name in, or, you know, the name of a store that's in their little town that sells a similar thing or something. But I did mine just like the model. I didn't change anything. That one was fun. I liked that one. Oh, I take that back. I think we got to this watercolor down here. I remember something about this watercolor. We were not happy with it, so we changed it to something else. But I don't remember what. All right, that was the Hawkrun Hollow celebration. And that Hawkrun Hollow piece was one of my Stitch 9 challenge. Farm Girl challenged us all to just, towards the beginning of the year, said pick 9 WIPs that you have that you want to have done by the end of the year, and just trying to challenge us to get them done. So I finished, I showed you this one a couple of videos. I finished that one, then I finished this one. So I have 2 of my 9 done. This will be a Mania piece, and this will be a Mania piece left over from last year. So those 2 are 2 of my Stitch 9. This is a WIP that I'm going to be doing for Mania, Shepherd's Fold. And this is a WIP that I'm going to do for Mania this year. It has a French name. Oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I call it French birdhouses because it's something about birds and houses in French by Amonami. And I had a viewer ask me where she could find that pattern, and I can't. If any of you know where you can get Amonami patterns, let me know. I did a search on Google and couldn't find it anywhere. This is one of my current WIPs, my stocking for my daughter-in-law Hannah. This is a current WIP. Those 2 are not part of my Mania plans, but I will keep working on those throughout the year to try and get them done. And then this is my healing garden that I've showed you before, but it's a current WIP. It's a daily tracking, but I didn't work on that this last week, so I'm not going to show it to you. It hasn't changed since the last time you saw it. I need to get it caught up. Now that we're at the end of April, I need to fix that. Oh, and the challenge piece, this one, I keep telling you that the piece that my sister-in-law was working on as the challenge for the last 2 months is called Magic Moment. And I finally remembered to pull the magazine. This is what it looks like. So this is what my sister-in-law Juliana is working on. She has the 2 children done and some of these things over here. She's got these things on the shelf done, part of this window. It's so cute. It was in my copy of it. It could be in other locations too, reprinted since then, I don't know. This was in the Better Homes and Gardens Cross Stitch Christmas issue. I believe it was a special Christmas issue magazine. It says Christmas of 1992 on it, and it is on the cover. And it says that the design is by Sally Shimizu, H-S-H-I-M-I-Z-U, Shimizu, adapted from an illustration by Judith Ann Griffith. Original artwork by Judith Ann Griffith, copyright 1990. So if you're interested in that pattern, that is the name of the designer. But it's really cute. Magic Moments. I think that's everything. I'll see you again on Saturday and give you the update on how the Mania starts went for the week and my progress on the stocking and Petite House, because I will continue to work on those while I do Mania. Everything else will be suspended until Mania is over, except for those 2. And I hope you have a great stitchy day, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.